Why do some people make decisions instantly, while others hesitate for hours and still end up making mistakes? It all comes down to intuition. I'll explain how to unlock it, and at the end I share a practice that will help us open the third eye. Have you ever felt that there's a quiet voice inside you that suggests the right decisions, but you either ignore it or can't quite hear it? You look at other people who seem to predict events, read people's energy, choose the right path without fail, and you wonder, how do they do it? Maybe they have a special gift, but here's what simple intuition exists, and everyone has it. It always works, but most people are used to living through logic, and as a result, they've stopped listening to their intuition. Let's figure out what intuition actually is. Many people imagine it as something mystical and supernatural. In reality, it's simply a way your subconscious processes information. We perceive countless signals every second. Glances, micro movements, tone of voice, people's energy, shades of light. But the conscious mind can't process all of this, so it focuses on the most important things while the rest goes into the subconscious. Intuition is when our subconscious already knows the answer but can't express it in words. It gives you a feeling in the form of an alarm signal, warmth inside, or a sudden insight. But the problem is that you're not used to trusting this feeling. You immediately turn on logic, start doubting, analyzing, asking your friends, reading forums, and while you're thinking, the moment is lost. So let's start unlocking your intuition. The first thing you need to do is stop suppressing it. Why can't you hear your intuition? Intuition is talking to you all the time. It is constantly giving you hints. Don't come here, trust this person, or do something else. You don't hear it. Why? Because it's drowned out by the noise of your mind. Our modern world is a constant overload. News feeds, social media, notifications, and other people's opinions, anxieties, imposed scenarios, and fears. We have gotten used to living in the external world, but not in the internal one. And if you are always busy analyzing, thinking, doubting, then your intuition simply has no chance to break through. Intuition is silence. It is not a shout, not a logical explanation or a well-argued position. It is a subtle feeling, a faint signal, a fleeting thought. And the more noise there is in your head, the less you hear your intuition. The first step toward intuition is learning to take pauses. Notice that there are moments when you know exactly what to do. And usually this happens when you are at peace. For example, when you are walking alone in the park, taking a shower, working out, or just lying in bed not thinking about anything. And that's because in these moments your mind relaxes. That's exactly when your intuition sends you a signal. So the first tip is to eliminate unnecessary noise sets aside at least 10 minutes when you are simply in silence, without your phone and without thoughts, just listening to yourself and feeling yourself. Second, how to activate the third eye and turn on your intuition. You've probably heard about the third eye, and it's not just an esoteric metaphor, it's a real mechanism in your body, the pineal gland. This small organ is located in the center of the brain and is responsible for perceiving light, circadian rhythms, and also for intuitive perception. When this gland is active, you begin to feel, literally. You pick up on hints, anticipate events, and make decisions more quick. You just know, for example, who is being truthful with you and who is lying. And this is not magic or sorcery at all, it's simply your nature. But unfortunately, for most people, this pineal gland is simply blocked. Why? Water, diet, environment, stress, all of this leads to the calcification of the pineal gland. It literally becomes encased in a shell and stops functioning as it should, but it can be awakened. The simplest way is to work with your attention. Try this. Close your eyes and imagine a warm, pulsating point between your eyes. Take a deep breath and imagine a beam of light flowing to and from that spot. At the same time, feel how this point is being activated, turning on. Repeat this several times. You can do this for at least 5 minutes a day, and over time you will start to feel your pineal gland. You will feel it physically and sensitively. At first, these will be subtle signals. You will surely notice that things happening around you are not just coincidences. You will start to see signs, hints, predict events, and catch more and more insights. And these are not any kind of superpowers. This is something you already have. You've just forgotten how to use it. Next point, how can you train your intuition in everyday life? So you've eliminated the noise and started working with your attention. But how do you start trusting your intuition now? Here's a simple exercise. When you need to make a decision, try not to think. Just choose and trust the very first thing that comes to you. For example, in a store, pick a product intuitively. On the street, instead of going the way you always do, turn where you feel like and want to go. In conversation, try to catch your first impression of the person and don't analyze it. At first, this will feel unusual. You probably want to go back to logic. You might have doubts and thoughts like, what if I'm wrong? But if you do this every day, your intuition will start to show itself and grow stronger. It's like a muscle. The more often you use it, the more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Next point, why is this important? Imagine that you no longer have to analyze everything for hours, but you just know what's right for you, that you can easily, based on your feelings, find people who are on the same path as you, that you can sense where the truth is and where the lie is. This is not just a pleasant skill, it's the key to a life without doubts, hesitation, and stress. People who have developed their intuition don't live in fear because they always know what to do. And this is available to everyone. You too. So start today, remove the noise, feel the signals, and trust your first impulse. Next, let's train intuition in practice. I'll give you concrete steps without abstractions on how to develop this sense in yourself and how to trust your inner voice, especially if you're used to breaking everything down logically, double checking, and constantly doubting. The first thing you need to understand is that intuition is not a booming voice from the heavens, but a subtle, barely noticeable whisper. It's almost like a whisper in a noisy room. It's always there, but it's easy to drown out with fears, logic, and other people's opinion. That's why the first main step in this matter is to eliminate the unnecessary noise. Try this experiment. Throughout the day, whenever you need to make a decision what to eat, who to meet, where to go, don't analyze. Just ask yourself, what do I want? And start acting on your very first feeling. Even if sometimes it might seem illogical, and even if your mind starts to protest, remember, this is practice. Want to go even deeper? Do this with your eyes closed. For example, when you're picking out fruit at the store, close your eyes, reach out your hand, and feel which one you want to take. Then open your eyes and see what you picked. Yes, it sounds funny, but as a practice, it works. Another way is to write down flashes of intuition. Often we sense something in advance, but we don't pay attention to it. For example, you think about someone and suddenly they message you. You feel uneasy before a meeting and it doesn't go the way you want. But if you start tracking this, you'll soon notice patterns between your feelings and what actually happened. Your intuition is constantly sending you signals. We just need to learn not to ignore them. Start keeping a journal of such moments, and in a month you'll no longer doubt that your inner voice really works. Why do most people lose this connection with their intuition? You've probably noticed many times that children are very intuitive. They sense people and instantly pick up on emotions, easily gravitating toward what feels good to them and avoiding what seems unpleasant. But what happens next? From childhood, they are taught to ignore this feeling. Don't be so sensitive, do what everyone else does. Logic is more important. Usually, it's adults who say these things to them. At first, they stop trusting their emotions, then their desires, and eventually even their intuitions. By adolescence, most people rely entirely on their mind, logic, and external cues, having completely blocked out their intuition. But the good news is that this ability hasn't gone anywhere. It's a completely natural function of your brain. It's just sleeping. And if you start using it again, it will awaken very quickly, and you'll begin to notice how often you have had and still have accurate intuitions, how easily you can pick up on anyone's mood, even if they don't say a word. How do you know in advance that a certain event will happen? Next point, how can you speed up the process? You can develop intuition through practice. If you want to accelerate this development, it's very important to work with your physical body. Remember, we talked about the third eye and the pineal gland. As you already know, This gland is responsible for perceiving subtle signals, which are blocked in most people. The causes are the same: stress, poor nutrition, a toxic environment, and cleansing the body of all this is one of the key factors. And this is where the mineral Carvalho comes to the rescue. What is it? It is a unique natural mineral that not only synchronizes the two hemispheres of the brain and activates the pineal gland, but also removes toxins from our body. It is something that reduces stress levels and cleanses our energy field. People who start using it note that their perception becomes more refined, their intuition sharpens, and their consciousness becomes clearer. How do you use it? Water with the mineral. Take a few of the mineral crystals, they are water soluble, swallow them, and drink some water before your morning practices. This will significantly increase their effectiveness. Meditations with the mineral. Hold it in your hands while you tune in and focus on your third eye and feel the vibration of the mineral. Next, contact with the body. Between uses, also carry it with you so it can harmonize your internal process. This is not a magic pill, but a powerful tool that helps you enter a state of concentration and clarity. When your body functions cleanly and harmoniously, your intuition also becomes clear. In conclusion, you already know more than you think. Intuition is not something mythical, it's your built-in navigator that is always working and has always worked. It's just that you may not have heard it. But now you know how to start. First, eliminate unnecessary noise. Next, try small experiments. Write down moments of intuitive flashes. And finally, work with your body, cleanse it and enhance its sensitivity. But most importantly, trust yourself. Because everything you need to know, you already know. You just need to learn to hear it. Now go take action. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel, like the video, and check out the links below. See you next time.